The project for me started about 6 years ago when, as a carpentry trainer for the local apprentices, I was working with some students and they were getting frustrated by the fact that they were making some joints, throwing them in the bin, making some joints, throwing them in the bin, getting really frustrated with what they were doing, trying to do. So I wanted to try and come up with an idea of how we could make that a bit more interesting with them. Decided on honeybees, on beehives. And the idea of the beehives is that there's lots of different joints in there which we can keep repeating and we can keep making, and so the students actually end up with something which they've made at the end of it, and then we give them away to a local charity. So that's what we did. We made all these hives, and then I got a call from somebody saying, can I have 2 hives please? And I came down here and discovered the Priory. Absolutely amazing building. I couldn't believe that it was still in private hands. What were they doing with it? What was going to happen to it? Introduced myself to the local owner, and he was saying how he was struggling to sort of come up with the funds to be able to keep the place in good repair. So I said cheekily to him, how about giving it to us as a community project? And he smiled at me and walked away. About 18 months later we crossed paths again, and once again I suggested it to him, and this time he said, well actually that doesn't sound like too bad an idea, let's have a chat about it. And we had a bit more of a conversation about it, and he was a bit more open to the idea. Walked away, and then we didn't meet each other again for probably about another 2 years. And by this time he was getting really frustrated about not being able to get the funding for it. I'd come across Charlie and Chris, and we ended up with almost like the perfect storm where Charles needed help, Charlie and Chris were able to help, and we've put together this package now where the building is now being handed over to the trust, which will then be used for training purposes within the community.